Hi all, welcome to our new class. Is English, Class 6, Chapter 12. Huck saves the life of Widow Douglas. This wonderful extract is taken from the very classical novel The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, written by Mark Twain. Such a wonderful novel, and this extract is also very amazing. Huck is the central character of this extract. Where is he going at night? Whom did he follow? What was in that bag? How did he save the life of Widow Douglas? And final question, who is Red Joe? Such questions will be answered through this extract. Now let's read and find out the answers of these questions very curiously. So let us know the life of Huck or Huckleberry Finn. That night, Huck was hiding in that side street behind the inn. At 11 o'clock, all the lights in the inn went out. Everybody is asleep now, thought Huck. I am going to sleep too. At that moment, he heard a faint sound from the inn. Somebody had closed a door softly and was coming very quietly down the street. Huck quickly returned to his hiding place. So at night, he heard an unusual sound and he just peeped out. Who is that, or who will be that? Two men passed by. One of them was carrying a heavy box. That's the treasure, Huck thought. They are taking it away. They are going to hide it somewhere else. I will have to follow them. There is no time to tell Tom. Tom is the very closest friend of Huck. I will have to follow them myself. Two men walked for a while beside the river. Then they turned and walked up the hill. Huck followed them all the way. It was moonless night, and that helped Huck, so they did not see him. The men came to Widow Douglas' house. They stopped. Huck stopped. He was quite near the men and could hear every word they spoke. There are lights in the 3 rooms. Somebody must be there with her, Red Joe said angrily. You can't do anything tonight, the other man said. Come on, let's go. Leave her alone. Forget it. Forget it, exclaimed Red Joe. Never. I will never forget it. Her husband sent me to prison. When I came out, I came here to kill him, but he had died before I got here. It doesn't matter. She will have to pay instead of him. I am going to kill her tonight. So the Red Joe and his companion came to Widow Douglas' house just to kill her, because her husband had sent Red Joe to the prison. So he has come here to take the revenge. There is somebody there, said the other companion. Red Joe was not listening. He turned to his companion. You got to help me. If you don't, I will kill you too. Hurry up then. What are you waiting for? The other man said. I am waiting till the lights go out. The 2 men were silent. They stood there, waiting for the lights to go out. Huck was very frightened. He crept away very quietly. Then he began to run. He ran fast till he came to a house. This was the house of Mr. Jones, a brave and honest old man. The Huck stopped. He knocked at the door. Let me in, please, please let me in, he cried. What's the matter? The old man called from his bedroom window. Then he came downstairs with his 2 strong sons. All 3 stood there in the doorway. Why, it's Huckleberry Finn, the old man said. Please let me in, Huck begged. Something terrible is going to happen. Come in, and tell us. Huck went inside and told his story. The story of how he followed them, what they were spoken, what their intention is. Everything he has told them in detail. 2 minutes later, Mr. Jones and his 2 strong sons were running towards Widow Douglas' house. Each of them was carrying a gun. Huck did not go up with them. He hid himself and waited. Suddenly, he heard a shot. They were shooting. Huck jumped up from his hiding place. He ran away as fast as he could. Very early the next morning, Huck was again knocking at Miss John's door. "Come in, my boy. Come in," the old man said, very kindly. "You are a brave fellow, Huck. You will always be welcome here. Come in and have some breakfast with us." Huck sat down at the table, but he could not eat anything. "You look ill, Huck," said Miss Jones. "Drink this cup of tea." Then the old man told Huck what had happened the previous night. After Huck telling all the stories of Red Joe and Widow Douglas, Mr. John and Tucson went with him with the gun and the other things he doesn't know. What all happened at the night, he was not aware of what had happened at night. He heard only the sound of shooting. So, curiously, next morning he came and asked Mr. Jones what all things happened in that house last night. Then the old man told Huck what had happened the previous night. "We weren't able to catch them," he said, "but one of them was wounded. He can't be far away. We have told the men in the village. They are going to search the woods for the criminals. Can you tell me what they looked like?" "Well," said Huck slowly, "one of them is that Spaniard. You have seen him about the village. He has got long white hair and he is dumb. The other fellow is a stranger. He is tall and thin and he is wearing old clothes." "I know them both," Mr. John said. Then he asked, "What made you follow them?" "Well, I couldn't sleep. I went out for a walk. I saw those two. One of them was carrying a heavy box. He's stolen something. I thought, I will follow him." They went towards the river. Then they turned right and went up the path that leads to Widow Douglas' place. I was close behind them all the time. I could hear almost every word they said. When they reached Widow Douglas, they stopped. They began talking. "But isn't that Spaniard dumb?" asked Miss Jones. "Oh no, he isn't. He is." Huck suddenly stopped. He was telling the old man too much. He did not want to get into more trouble. He had had enough. "Who is he?" the old man asked. "Tell me, my boy. Don't be afraid. We are your friends and you can trust us." He spoke so kindly that Huck answered, "He is Red Joe." "Red Joe?" The old man nearly jumped off his chair in his excitement. "Red Joe," he repeated. He could not believe his ears. "Yes, Red Joe." "Are you sure?" "Yes." I recognized his voice. Well, the old man could find no words to say what he thought. His sons had stopped eating. They were looking at Huck with their mouths wide open. Their eyes were as big as round as saucers. "Oh," said the old man at last, "now I understand." At that moment, Widow Douglas came in. She came to ask for news about the robbers. She wanted to know what had happened to them. Mr. Jones and his sons told her the story. When they had finished, Widow Douglas was trembling with fear and excitement. "How can I thank you?" she asked, with the tears in her eyes. "You saved my life." "You mustn't thank me," the old man said. "It wasn't me, it was..." He stopped. He wanted to say it was Huck who saved you from Red Joe, but he had promised Huck to keep his name out of the story. He did not want Huck to get into more trouble. Mark Twain. In short, Huck saved the life of Widow Douglas by following the two strange men. After hearing their conversation, he went and asked help from Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones and his two children went to Widow Douglas' house with a gun and they saved the life of Widow Douglas. Later, they identified one of them was Red Joe, the most notorious criminal of that area. So this is a summary of the story. I hope you understood. Read the chapter once again and follow the link given in the description for writing question answers. Thank you. Have a nice day.